Clean air is a fundamental right, yet millions of Americans are denied that right every day. In communities across the country, dirty industrial plants blanket schools, playgrounds, and homes with layers of pollution. Facilitators at Burke High School in Charleston, South Carolina, and Niles New Tech Entrepreneurial Academy in Niles, Michigan, had a mutual interest in pursuing this idea as a project, and a mutual interest in connecting ideas and learners across time and space. How can the PBL process benefit from bringing diverse learners together to answer a common need to know? Is it possible for Big City to meet rural suburbia on common ground? It was time to find out. The New Tech Network created a connection between the two schools through their Power of Us grant application process, and Peter Locker, Benjamin Plants, and Susan Sobrad became co-collaborators on an air quality project appropriately named Air on the Side of Caution. Learners from both schools explored the effects of air quality on the community, the relationships between demographics and access to a healthy environment, as well as solutions to combat the negative effects of poor air quality. The first task, introductions.
Hey Charleston!
Learners from both campuses recorded some early get-to-know-you greetings to share messages related to entry events and need-to-knows. Learners were everywhere, in the stairwell, in the hallway, the conference room, and on the floor. Greetings ranged from well-rehearsed to completely improvised. And it was quite clear that some scaffolding was probably needed to help learners develop an appropriate on-screen presence. Emphasis on screen. Onward. The goal for Benchmark 1 was to create infographics to inform the public about issues related to poor air quality. Of course, the learners first needed to know what an infographic was.
What is an infographic?
Learners brainstormed ideas and scoured the web for definitions, details, and statistics. Final drafts were shared online for critiques across the miles. And finally, the infographics were print ready. Learners recorded a second video to share their infographics, with a completely different set of screen challenges. Just because it's a computer doesn't mean we can't see you. Seeking ideas for a second benchmark, facilitators tossed around ways to improve air quality, vertical gardens, airing from car exhaust. But the team settled on hydroponics as a way to address indoor air pollution, a problem faced by many who live in poor quality, low-income housing. Growing things was a great idea for learners from Charleston. South Carolina is chilly, not frigid. And green, growing things are abundant everywhere. They even got to go and collect seeds from the local salt marsh to grow in their hydroponics garden. Niles learners gave it their best shot, getting very creative with their systems, sprouting their seeds, putting the greenhouse together. The systems were evolving. And then the polar vortex arrived. 2 weeks out of school for ice and snow, 15 degrees below zero. The plants, held hostage by treacherous, icy roads, were doomed by neglect. Only a very few were resurrected by some very tenacious gardeners. The final benchmark for the project was an air quality podcast to be entered in the National Public Radio Podcast Challenge. Learners were primed for the task by listening to podcasts about a variety of unique air quality problems. Ever wonder how much carbon dioxide is produced by a cruise ship? How about all those parents sitting in the school driveway with the cars running, waiting for their kids? Does the school need to issue gas masks? Classroom debates warmed up their ability to look at problems from multiple viewpoints, and off they went. Research, storyboards, and scripts were produced before scheduling feedback sessions. Picture a podcast critique protocol where the class sat with their backs to the podcasters to make sure they were focused on the listening and not on the watching. For a third time, learners shared their products online. Learners discovered that the air in both communities was moderately good, according to the Air Quality Index. They discovered that the bulk of large particulate matter and carbon monoxide are released into the atmosphere through vehicle emissions. They discovered that the young and old are most susceptible to poor air quality, and that people of poverty are sometimes forced to live in areas with poor air quality simply because it's the only place they can afford. Working together enabled learners to expand their collaboration from inside the classroom to the local community and beyond. As the project gained momentum, it was very clear that the PBL process was enhanced by sharing diverse ideas from educators and learners with different perspectives. And even though not all project goals were completed as they were planned, learners and facilitators were able to experience the benefits of cross-collaboration. This project exemplified the power of PBL to encourage learners to develop solutions from a multifaceted point of view. Thousands of miles apart, Niles New Tech Entrepreneurial Academy and Burke High School embarked on a journey and found that their problems and concerns were common problems and concerns, and that the most effective way for people to make a difference in our air quality is to join forces and work together toward becoming better stewards of Earth. Niles New Tech and Burke High School found that people truly are better together.